inspection is done, then all the fun starts. It's time to get into sheetrock. Now, meanwhile, on the outside, you can be doing what type of, exterior that you plan on putting on the house. Of course, you already got your roof on. One thing to remember, when they do your plumbing, they're going to run pipes through your roof. Make sure you get those roof boots on your house because that's typically done after you put your roof on. You don't want any leaks. But you can start doing stuff like, siding or stucco or brick and putting your exterior together on the outside of your house. That pretty much sums up the first 5 stages that I'm going to get into. One of the things with our program and our boot camp and some of the courses that we have, we teach you all this stuff, and we also teach you what numbers are. Everything associated with a house pretty much has a formula. For instance, I give you one formula now. Foundation, not framing. Let's start with framing. That's a pretty easy formula. Foundation has a estimate as well too, but framing. So an easy formula for foundation, for framing, an easy formula for framing is right now, and this is just, I would say, an average house. Right now, on the last 3 properties that we just started, lumber is right around, $14 to $16 a square foot. So if I just said $15 a square foot for lumber and I'm doing a takeoff and I'm building a 2,000 square foot house, how much would lumber be? It would be 2,000 times 15. So the lumber on that house would be 30 grand for the lumber on that house, roughly. When it comes to labor can vary. It depends on roof lines and a lot of different things. I know for where we're at and what we're paying our guys, we're paying anywhere from $5 to $7 a square foot for labor. So if we're building a 2,000 square foot house, that could be between $10,000 and $14,000 for labor. Now, every state is different. Sometimes the going rate for different contractors are different, and people charge different amounts. I can only tell you what we're paying. So everything in this whole construction process is a system. There's a lot more details in between some of the stuff that I've given you guys. We're giving you guys a broad overview, but there's a formula for everything. There's a formula for windows. There's a formula for foundation. There's a formula for sheetrock. There's a formula for brick. There's a formula for roof. The roof is done by the squares. There's a formula for everything. So when you can understand the process and understand the formula, you're able to put your budgets together. So it's all about knowing those numbers. There's a lot of you guys out there are realtors. Maybe you fixed and flipped the house. It's a lot of guys that want to get into building. And when we talk to a lot of people, the number one thing is, I don't know how to get started. I don't know what it costs. Well, guess what? We teach you that. So the ConstructionKingBootcamp.com, June 3rd and 4th, we're having a live boot camp. And the ConstructionKingCourses.com, we have an on-demand course that you guys can get right now. That's $9.97. That has over 200 videos on everything I'm talking about and the formulas and the budgets. We have students right now who have purchased our courses, who are actually going through our courses and building houses because it's very detailed. We don't skip any steps, and we give you all the systems that you need to take action. I'm going to bring up my partner, KP, and then he's going to talk to you guys about the last 5 stages of this construction process. So KP, come on up here. Go ahead and put the slide on for you.
A lot of good information. All right, so we're going to jump right into exterior. During the exterior process, it usually comes right after you've done your dry-in process and your mechanicals have been installed and passed rough. Once the exterior process starts, there's basically 3 or 4 different types of exterior that goes on the houses. you know, whether it's Georgia, Florida, whatnot. You have your siding, you have your brick, you have stucco, you have board and batten, and those are the most common types of exterior finishes. Now, when it comes to the style of finishes that you're choosing, that's typically based on the market that you're in and what the house may be going for. For instance, if I'm in a subdivision that has an HOA and it requires brick, I'm definitely not going to go in here and budget for siding. I'm going to be doing everything that the HOA covenant requires me to do. We back on? We on? Cause I'm like, is it on YouTube? Grip? We're having a couple technical difficulties. Let's check this out and then we'll get right back with you guys. I'm looking at the YouTube on this TV, right? What is this right here? I see Gene on this. That's why I'm thinking that the YouTube went down again. Not this one. Grip. Is it on? This is our first one. Is finishes are usually dictated by the market that you're currently in, as well as the HOA and the covenant that it may be in that area. Down in Florida, they build with a lot of stucco, which is cinder block and stucco. Here in Georgia, we stick frame a lot of houses, which we typically do the dry-in process and cover it with either siding or brick. A lot of these houses are 3-sided or 4-sided brick, especially in the metro Atlanta area. All right. So the exterior process is not only the house finishes on the exterior of it, but it's also the porches, the decks, and everything that you see as far as the exterior is concerned. Now, right after the exterior process is complete, we jump into the interior. And based on the interior process, after the mechanicals have passed inspection and it's been insulated and sheetrock, now is the fun part, the interior, where we get into the finishes. Once we pass all those inspections, the finishes are everything, including from the paint to the style of flooring to the actual electrical fixtures and plumbing fixtures that you put inside the house. Once these fixtures are installed, then you cut on the utilities. The utilities are the mechanicals once they're connected to the city. The utilities usually include the gas, the water, the power, and sometimes, you know, the internet, which is cable or whatnot. So all these utilities are required once you're done building this house to test and make sure that all the finishes are operable. Once the utilities are complete, the exterior, we go back outside and continue with the lawn and the landscaping. The outdoor landscaping plays a big part in the finished product. Not only is it one of the first things you see when your buyer pulls up to the property, but it also dictates the impression that you're making as far as the first impression. Some people may pull up and see a beautiful house, but if the yard isn't where it needs to be, then they're going to be, you know, turned off immediately. So make sure you budget into having your landscaping done from day one, whether it requires you to get special shrubs or trees or whatnot, because we've built in certain areas where we have to include the type of plants that we're planting in these areas. You just have to check with your local municipality and see if they require any type of special plants while you're doing this type of new construction build. Once your landscaping is done, it's up to once your landscaping is done, it's time for the project completion. And that's one of the most interesting parts of the build process because you actually get to see the finished product as a whole from everything from the exterior to the interior. And just a few months ago, you realized that this was just a vacant lot or, you know, an older house. And now you're at this project completion. And I mean, this is like the last 5 steps, which account to about 35 to 40%. I'm sorry, everyone. I just hear voices coming in the monitors. Gene, let me grab your mic. Lady talking. Check, check. Yeah. All right, y'all. This is, this is our first one, and we're at a studio.
That's the wrap up to get off the stage.
That was somebody yodeling for me to get off the stage.
Hey, you ever watch what's that show? Showtime, the Apollo. That's to get off the stage.
Sandman.
Yeah, Sandman. Well, man, we went over a lot of good stuff tonight, man. It's our first live. We just trying to drop some nuggets for you guys. Like, we just want to be a good resource for you. We got a lot of different things going on. We got free pop-ups that you guys can tap into. We got that boot camp. That boot camp coming up June 3rd and June 4th. Go to the constructionkingbootcamp.com and get that link. Now, we got people that have attended that boot camp that's building houses. That's crazy. Just from a boot camp. So y'all tap into the stuff that we got going on. I don't know what else you want to say or chime in on. Can we take some questions?
Yeah. What I actually want to say is we thank you guys for tuning in to our very first webinar. This one started off a little rough, but guys, listen, we're going to run it right back. So be on the lookout for us doing it. We really enjoy educating everyone who's watching because we understand how we were able to build wealth and develop raw land into, beautiful homes and make a lot of money doing it. And we want to just express how important it is for ownership when it comes to real estate. You don't necessarily just want to build and sell. You can get rich building and selling, but you get wealthy by holding properties. So guys, just keep tuning in to everything that we're doing. We're going to keep give you all of this information because, it works. We got 50 to 70 students right now that are actually either acquiring land or wrapping up projects. We got a couple students in the house right now. Let me call one to the stage. His name is Gene as well. Gene, come up and tell us your point of view so far on the program that we're offering.
Ooh, all right. Well, like you said, my name is Gene. I guess I'll stand right here. So thus far, I can honestly say it's a great program. I didn't have any expectations, but the fact that their curriculum by itself, it was so thorough that when I attend some of the meetings on Wednesdays or Thursdays, the other students who individuals who are new and are asking questions, in my head, I'm already answering them. Mind you, I just joined the program probably a month and a half ago, and as soon as I joined the program, I was hungry. And Gene saw that I was hungry. I told him, hey, I was on chapter 1, chapter 2. I already got my LLC. I already got my EIN. So he knew that I was dedicated. So I can honestly say it's worth it. No regrets. And I'm building a house right now. And if you would have asked me, like, would I be doing this 2 years ago, last year, I'd have been like, no, ain't no way. But I'm here. Thank you guys. And yeah.
Appreciate you, Gene.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we have several other students that are, in the same shoes who didn't see themselves doing exactly what they're doing now because they ultimately lack the confidence. And what we preach is like to instill confidence in people to make them, feel comfortable doing something new. And by us being able to do that, they're able to execute the process of building a lot faster than we did. Like these guys are, like you said, they're building 4,300 square foot homes out the gate. Like it's very remarkable on everything that we've accomplished in the last couple of years, especially when it comes to education. That's why we created everything that we have to educate people, from the online courses. We still do the free pop-ups. We're introducing you guys to webinars, to our webinars. We're actually doing pop-up events as I mentioned, as well as these boot camps and workshops. And if you ever get a chance, you really want to attend one of these workshops or boot camps, because we really do a deep dive into these formulas to let you guys know exactly what it's going to cost to build a house from the ground up.
And just talking about the boot camp, not only do we do a deep dive in terms of the process and what it costs, we also talk about the funding, because that's the other key to this. Like, where do I get the funding from? So we talk about how to structure your deals. We talk about how to leverage business credit and build your business credit the right way to get your business funded. There are a lot of different ways that you can get into this business without using the money that's physically in your pocket. In fact, the sooner you can get to not using your own money, the better you're going to be. Because a lot of the deals that we use, we don't use our own money. So we teach some of those strategies. We teach how to find and how to evaluate land. Like, it's important to understand not just how to build, but how to do all those other things in between. So that Saturday on the boot camp, it'll be a classroom session, and we teaching y'all how to find and how to evaluate the land, how to get the money, how to structure your deals, and the complete process with all the numbers and what it costs to build a house. On Sunday, we're doing a bus tour in the field. I love Sundays, man. Sundays be the day.
Yeah,
because on Sunday, y'all get to go out in the field. You get to see 3 different properties in 3 different stages. You get to see a house with that we just started in foundation mode, and all the stuff that you learned on Saturday, we're showing you in the field what that looks like. We also get to see a house that's like 50% finished with tile, and maybe, the sheetrock is in and no floors. And we're showing you what that looks like and what that costs, so you can not only hear it and see it on paper, but you can see it in person. Then we get to go to a house that's finished. And I already know, unless it sells, which house we're going to go to.
Okay.
Because it's one of the best houses we did. And so you get to see that entire process on Sunday. So those boot camps are dope, man. So again, the ConstructionKingBootCamp.com. Y'all tune in and stay on the lookout for all the other stuff that we're doing. Because we have something for everybody. We have some free stuff like the YouTube. We got the Building Builders Academy for people who really want to, be around us or be in the program where they're getting 2 classes a week for a whole year with pre-recorded information. We got memberships. We got other stuff that we coming out. So y'all just tap into some of the stuff that we got if you're trying to learn how to build wealth through real estate.
Again, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to follow this page. We will be dropping another video of this webinar with the PowerPoints and everything included. So make sure you turn your notifications on. Follow us on social media, Kelley_Parker, Gene_Johnson1, and the Construction Kings on Instagram. Thank y'all for tuning in.
We out.